everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing more of a fun deck than we have been playing in the past, where they've been a lot more competitive. What I do think in best of one, there is a version of mono black that is incredibly viable, but this version right here that we're going to be trying out, and it may be a little too heavy on it, to be honest, up front, is we're going to be playing the discard mono black demon deck, where our primary goal, as you can see early, is to make them discard as much as possible and then establish an Unholy Annex to draw a lot of cards until we can win with Unstoppable Slasher and Bloodletter synergy to either just drain them until they lose with obviously Banish Talent, Unholy Annexes, and a Demon and whatnot, or we can just do the combo with Unstoppable Slasher, making contact, and then they lose half their life total with a Bloodletter. That means they'll lose their full life total, and I'll just win, which happens multiple times in today's video, which is pretty awesome. So with that said, let's go ahead and play. All right, we're on the play, so we'll keep. We'll see what's up. We will see if we can perform greatness or fail. Who knows? Probably on the fail line, but it's okay. Banish Talent. Or not Banish Talent, Deep Cavern Bat. I guess I don't care about like any of those. We just take their one removal spell. Obviously nowhere to run and stuff as cards that they're going to be playing towards. And honestly, this removal spell doesn't matter actually that much to us. Let's go Banish Talent. Obviously they got to get rid of a creature of some sort. And we might attack, letting them get their tragic trajectory back, because realistically, we don't need creatures that often. And if they flash in as 2/1 to get this removal spell back on this block, we are so much happier with that than this bouncing like a nowhere to run or something over and over again. Level this up. See what's up. Land. Play here so we can maybe attack with this next turn. Let's Deep Cavern Bat. Sure. Alright, cool. Here. Obviously they're not going to do land. They're probably just going to get rid of this, which is a card that they bought back by blocking with the creature they flashed in, so we'll take it. What is exactly... when one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Here's my 5/5. Or 6/6. I will obviously block here, right? So sure. Look. They didn't remove my 6/6. 2 lands. Absurd. Go here. Level this up. And then we'll just pass. Holding this 6/6 back is just good for right now. Especially with that. Sure. So we obviously get to kind of hold a wall here. And they played the card we didn't know about, but sure. They could have brought up a land and doubled attack to try to get an extra draw in, but I just don't think that would ever work out well, so we'll take that. Opponent first. Sure, I guess we have double disruption into Unholy Annex, or we can do disruption annex if we have time. We'll kind of just see. Oh, the rest might be good, might be bad against blue black, of course. Sultai, Graveyard, so we just need a strategic betrayal at some point. What do they go for? Now, honestly, the hardest card to interact with is going to be these Harvesters, because Deep Cavern Bats are just going to get smoked by them, to be honest. But they had no land, so they do Tempest Heart, which makes sense. They load up, shoot the sheriff drawn. Not really ideal. They got rid of one harvester, right? So no land here. They could rip a land. It'll all fall apart too. So let's take harvester, I guess. You draw a land. The odds are good for them to draw land, but they miss. Wow. Trust me, I know how that feels. Probably grab harvester back. Yeah. So for us, I personally think it's literally go until we hit strategic betrayal as fast as possible. Fast as we can do it. And then we use deep cavern bats to stagger the turn of like a superior Spider-Man, right? So this is going to come in. It's going to shoot our deep cavern bat, obviously. Or unholy Anna. It's any permanent, right? I forgot about that. I forgot that that was literally any permanent. Bloodletter. They drew a land before. What if they just go land superior Spider-Man to blow me out? That'd be pretty sick, to be honest. So weird detective. You may discard a card when you do return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Strategic Betrayal again, by far the best draw, and it's not close. Just because it eats their entire graveyard. Sure. Not even upset that we have a shoot share for that. Well, I mean, we're not super down about this either. And they have the bringer in there because weirdly enough, you choose one in their hand and one from the graveyard, right? No, that was the card that rotated. Right. We exile here. Then I go deep cavern bat here for harvester. I shoot this out of the way. And we just go for it a bit. Put them down to 9. And obviously bring back. Get rid of the land. So now we know they don't have Superior Spider-Man, of course. Then grab Harvester, remove Bat, and then I'm stuck with like Bloodletter alone. But it should be enough because I'll have 3 off of the Sanctuary, which will do 6, and then I have 2 off of Bloodletter, which can do more. I also think this is better than enough then. So they block 1 Deep Cavern Bat, and then they block the 3. They take 2, 4... Or you send them to the After Realm. Or rip off the top, exile it all. Go here. As you can tell, it could have been enough. Well, it wouldn't have been enough because they could have blocked this and they would go to 1. But, I mean, card's pretty good. They stick around, maybe just looking to see if they ever find a second one, because they did find one. They're 30 cards deep almost. For us, we're just going to bring this up to guarantee everything, because it could technically... No, I mean, that doesn't really do it either, right? They can't, like, bounce the Bloodletter. Yeah, and that's just going to do it. Very cool. All right, we go first. Pretty cool. We'll keep. We gotta do the traditional Deep Cavern Bat into Unstoppable Slasher and pretend like new cards haven't been printed before. Yeah, maybe. I feel like I'm playing Mono Red right now. No! Not my Slasher, dude! Gotta be Slasher, right? What? Alright, I'll banish talent. I don't care. Just gets rid of a card permanently. Deep Cavern Bat's removable. And the reason I thought they would do slash, I mean, they could have like the make me sack creature exile card, right? I guess. that's definitely an option, but we're gonna slam it. If they shoot the sheriff this, they definitely, I don't know. Can I draw a land? You pretty confident about that Unholy Annex, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Just what Spider-Man cards, dude? All right, cool. We get to go first here. This is the awkward part. Well, we'll keep, obviously. This is the awkward part where do I look at their hand or do I just like guarantee a discard? I think you look at their hand. Like always. Sure. Thankfully, we looked at their hand because I don't want to deal with a mill situation. Let's go banish talent. What did they get rid of? Sure. We obviously need to draw lands. Alright. Deal. Got rid of their removal. If they tap out and we get back-to-back games, I was going to say, if we get back-to-back I mean, we're going for it, right? Back-to-back games? We just do it back-to-back? We just... Yo, 1, 2, slasher, draw the land with the card, hit them, win. Like, dude, this game is so easy. Why don't we do this all the time? If we draw a land... We draw 2 lands and an unstoppable slasher. We can do the combo once again. I don't think we can keep getting away with it, right? Iron Claw. That's one of those, I guess. Probably gonna be what? Land into just pump this. They're probably not burst lightning anything, right? Sure. We do need to draw a land though. It's looking a little bit tough. Obviously, I think shoot the sheriff is best play here. Yeah. We do have ways to gain life in this deck, so we have to do that. And also, this is a mercenary, which shoot the sheriff can't remove. So it was kind of a risk that they played this, like they had to play the Screaming Nemesis, but if they would have done Lizard Pump and whatnot. I don't know. I'm just barreling this. Like kind of guaranteed to hit, I guess. We got pretty fortunate with our last draws. It's about time that we just miss a couple land drops and lose to aggro. You know the usual. Take like 3 from this guy. Obviously, we'd love to do this when they do this part right here, but just can't really always have it all, right? I could barrel this, but that just seems bad. We'll in turn. We'll probably let them commit to this Hired Claw. At least I think we should. I don't want to take any damage, to be honest. From it. Because what? They commit into this goblin. If they have a protection spell, they're probably going to... They'll have it regardless. They're not going to not play around it. Right? I think these are just burn spells, maybe. And then we have to do this kind of the old-fashioned way where we do Bloodletter. Maybe it was just this activation to get rid of a land, sure. Or we just play like a... Or we do it this way, I guess. Alright, well, that's lethal. So we lose. Nice. A 2-land opener pretty consistently here. So we'll keep, I guess. Obviously, we're a land away, it seems. Creature, instant. This isn't necessarily as good as I would think, so we just get rid of it, and then we probably tactics take the other one, I guess. Or duress again. Quantum Riddler. Okay. It's definitely a wait for... I'm just getting rid of the Riddler. I understand that the Trap Trainer is good, But Riddler is one of those cards where they do this and we get their hand really low, and then Riddler just draws them 2 cards a turn if they ever get to resolve it after. And it just finds so much value. It just seems so hard to ever try to commit to. We'll take this to take an extra draw. And then obviously if they flood maul this, we get a bloodletter. If we play bloodletter, they flood maul this, we get to draw and lose 2 against the deck that's not got a ton of aggression on right now. But I will say that this card is kind of hard to get to resolve. So do we go bloodletter for the life gain, or do we go Bandit's Talent here, interact with their hand? If I go bloodletter, they just bounce it and they set me back a turn, right? Let's go through combat. They do nothing like they're supposed to. Bandit's Talent is a card that they never want to bounce, right? Because then we just get to play it again, and that's not a good feeling. And if you discard the Bandit's Talent and then discard, like use the Flood Maul to bounce it, then you have to discard it again. Sure. Like there, I feel like that's a play, I guess, you know? I get it because you want to keep getting your cards, but when this is affecting you a bit, I don't know. Flash Portal's pretty good. This is where the Quantum Riddler becomes a big problem. If they play Riddler, they draw, and then when they would Portal and they would lose it. What is that? Whenever a creature you control with mana value 5 or greater enters, attach it. Okay. Fair enough. Oh boy. And this is sorcery? Yeah. Alright. Go to 4 here. We're going to shoot the Sheriff that right away. We're going to go to 4. I will say the End is a very good card here. Oh, how does this hurt us? How do we get punished here? By them playing a tap land. Yeah. Two portals in hand. Honestly, I wanted to look at their hand more than anything. I'm not super staring at their hand, obviously. Here. Then we do Deep Cavern Bat, and we take one of the portals, I guess. Now the life can be gained. And the reason we do it is so that Bandit's Talent obviously adds more value. The best draw that they can have by far is a Quantum Riddler, and it's not particularly close, right? We go land. We go combat. Here. Unlock here. And the reason we unlock here is so we have multiple demons that can trigger our annex. They're dead to Bloodletter here if they don't do it right. Bloodletter will tick them for 2. And they, or tick them for 2 more. Alright, fair enough. He's coming back. What a weird thing. They still lose the blood. So what they needed to do there is they messed up a little. They needed to wait until my end step So return the exiled cards to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So that's right as your end step starts. If my end step, if we're actively on it, as you can see right here, we are on it, right? Once it starts, that's trigger is gone. And if they would have done that there, they would have taken everything out of play and they would only come back on their end step. So Unholy Annex actually would have dealt 2 damage to me there instead of them. And then obviously if they had a Hellkite in their deck, they could win, but they don't. I didn't even look to see if they had other options, but thankfully we get there. I mean, I guess, right? Like, this is the epitome of just like telling my opponent I hate him. I don't know what else his hand says. We'll be able to find out a little bit of what they're playing and then decide whether we need to duress them. Ghost Vacuum goes away. Interesting. Ghost Vacuum going away with the card that goes to the graveyard, it can be cast from there, is weird, but I guess maybe they thought they don't need it. Island, Plains, sure, why not? Go Deep Cavern Bat. Deep Cavern Bat's one of those weird cards where we can just use it to get a little bit of value. Bell Pierce. Okay, well, Repurposing Bay is about the only card I want to be able to interact with. Bell Pierce is annoying. But we have to take Repurposing Bay, and then they might snare my Deep Cavern Bat to get their card back, which will allow us to then duress and negotiation them. You know, the yeesh. We go duress here. A creature, sure. I keep thinking the negotiation's the other card, by the way. We'll just get rid of Battlefront here, I think. And then we'll go Deep Cavern Bat. My hand's all disruption, bro. I don't know. And now if they go like land, play, creature, the negotiation's very good. Go land. They don't have the blue for Spell Pierce, by the way, which is quite funny. So it doesn't really matter what their choice is here. Bully ball. Bully ball at its finest. Neither of us get to have fun here. Well, I get to have fun. You don't. That's the point. Obviously, I'm trolling a bit, but it's just fun. Here comes Synthesizer. Oh, Repurposing Bed. It's very good. Very good draw. And a concession. Okay. I feel like if you have a Repurposing Bed, you can fight the game out, and it's not actually that close. Right? Because you just hit 1 Clay Fire Bricks. You do this, play it, go get a land. Because you're playing off the top, you go get a land, you play it, you gain 2 life, kind of negate this for a turn, go sack it, grab a Synthesizer, play it, scry 2, manipulate your next 2. Any good card there, you just play. I think you play this out. I don't know. But it can also be frustrating considering, I don't know, they got hit with a ton of discard effects. So I'm just saying there was a lot of play there left for them, I think, but I could be wrong. All right. Yeah. Is our duress good? Just what? What is this? What are we doing, bro? My Unstoppable Slasher sucks. Like, this is why Leyline of the Void kind of sucks in a sense, because they essentially put deal. I mean, I'm playing Slasher. They're hitting it. They're doing it. No. No. You put that away, dude. They even had the thing. Oh, boy. What a time. What a time to be playing. I think it's Bloodletter here. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry I was on the play. I'm sorry, bro. That is a tragic game for our homie, dude. He's like, I got him. And I was just like, oh no. All right, we'll keep here. We just need a land draw or two. It's like weird because we just need one land draw to make sure we can play Annex, and then Annex can obviously help us draw into the correct card. So it's a bit weird, but that's what we're working towards. Or we just rip the land immediately and there's no worries. Four's off. Authority. Authority I don't really care about, but this could be like a catch-most pile, so we could run into a little bit of trouble. But in terms of just like playing our creatures, it doesn't really matter that much. Or it's just hard, or it's off control and we're in a lot of trouble. Who knows? But Scry is serious. They put to the bottom. We go here. We go here. Then, yeah, so immediately we see a Ketramos. They can play Ketramos, which would be kind of annoying. Does the end exile target creature playing? I actually don't care if they have the Ketramos. Get Lost seems annoying. This card's whatever. Maze Mind Tone is honestly the most annoying card here, I think. At least I think Maze Mind Tome is the most annoying card here. At least I'm putting it as that. And remember, Ketramos cannot block quite right away. They can't block right away. Okay. So now I can go to combat, attack, and see if they get rid of my creature with the Get Lost. Don't want to show them my land. Oh, the Smite's pretty good, though. Go Unstoppable Slasher here. Smite's a crazy card to be playing. I do not agree with Smite. Unless you are just epitome of like, if my opponent ever plays VV combo, I'm just conceding and moving on. Smite feels like such a bad card to me, in my opinion. Slashers here. They weren't able to cease it or anything there. So I think I just want to value as many card draws as I possibly can. Let them play Ketramos, and then I'll exile all of them. And then ask them what their win condition is. We'll do it here. This, however, if this does put a counter on Slasher, if it dies, it actually does get exiled permanently because it's any type of counter. We hit a land, so we'll take it, obviously. But with the end, Ketramos can be fully exiled, which is nice. How does Slasher work? When this creature deals combat damage to a player, it gets redirected to Ketramos if the equipment's on it. This would work if we somehow dealt damage. So like Unholy Annex will just do a ton of damage to them. Alright, our Slasher is available now. Or at least next turn. I should have played this. I don't know why I didn't. I don't want to put Bloodletter out for it to be vulnerable to removal, so I'm just going to do this. Again, I don't want to put a counter on Slasher, because if I do and they kill it, it won't just keep coming back over and over again. Try to the bottom. I'll say the next one, they should just draw it. Doesn't really make a difference. Lose 2. Again, if they play Ketramos and try to defend themselves with it, we obviously can end it. And then take all the Ketramoses and tell them, like, good luck. Sure. Now they'll have Deadly Cover-Up available next time. Now we go here. We have 6 mana. So weird. Should I just play Bloodletter here? I don't think so. I think I play Slasher and just threaten it. They can only scry twice. Sure. I wish I had one more mana to do this, but Maybe I should have went Bloodletter because Bloodletter would be doing 4 here. And also just giving us more time. They keep on top, which is fine. They're holding the Maze Mind Tome. This is also why I said these are a bit troublesome because the value that they possess. Maybe they had Devilly cover up surgical everything. And if we're in surgical extraction territory, then deal. If that's how we're feeling. Sure. I'd like to look at your hand. Already does not matter if this all happens and resolves. A smite. So we take the smite here and we win with 25 life. A Ketramos in play. Unable to do anything. We play a Bloodletter tapped. We attack with this unstoppable slasher. And we hit them for lethal. The Ketramos unable to do a thing about it because it cannot block right now. We're able to get rid of it. Now, does our opponent know that we have the end to surgical all these as our backup plan? No, obviously not. But we'll do that. We'll take that. We'll take that opportunity. All right, we will keep. Hit their hand. I'm kind of off of this card. I don't like not seeing their hand. Even if it whiffs, I would almost rather see their hand most of the time. Strategic Betrayal seems like we're in kind of a mirror match. Well, you get my slasher, I guess, which is pretty good. Oh, don't worry. I'm ready for you, brother. Get him in there. Are we both unholy annexing, staring at each other, drawing cards? I'm not going to lie. This is going to suck. Come on, play one. Yep. Uh-huh. Who can remove whose creatures first? The rest. None of these really matter. I guess we want to take the instant speed one. Double annex. Sheriff can be shot. The end. We can exile all their Bloodletters, which is honestly great. What's my life total gotta be at? The fact that I didn't hit a land there is actually a little annoying, but if I just strategic betrayal and deep cavern bat them, I guess. The problem is if I exile these and then they make another one, I'm actually a little in trouble. Maybe I just hold to shoot the sheriff, I guess. Sure. Sure. Life still has to be 5 or less? That's crazy. Sure. Shoot the sheriff. And now at least here I can make 1, right? And I can gain 4 life. Go back up to 10. Sure. 2 Bloodletters or 2 unholy annexes is better than 1, obviously, but sure. We know that they had that. They can bring up their sanctuary if they want to. 2, sure. I know I could play this, I guess. I probably should have. Here. We can go back and forth on this, I suppose. I guess if my opponent plays a Bloodletter, I die here. Which is a bit annoying, I suppose. I kind of didn't think about that, to be honest. When I didn't play this. Play Bloodletter and punish me, please. Okay, so I take 2 here. Let's do here. Let's Guess we just wait, right? Gain, go to 6. There's a card we actually need, like a Bandit's Talent, which is nice. Discard a card, we'll do a Swamp. Don't really need it. I'm at 35, they're at 42. I'm seeing way more cards, but the annexes are doing a lot of damage to me anytime I get like a little bit of freedom. So weirdly enough, here. No, I don't think so. I don't think we ever interact with that, right? I think interacting with that's just bad. Pass. Shoot the sheriff here. We have to wait so they couldn't play a second demon here. Now they're at 10 and it should be lethal. We're gonna go ahead and banish talent here. Okay, sweet. I was doing the banish talent to see if there was any pause anywhere. I assumed it's lethal, but with as many cards as we're drawing, I'm going to ensure that win and see if I can, but we'll take it. All right, so here we are in the outro to kind of talk about the deck a little bit, and I do think I would probably change immediately what I would be doing, and I almost don't think I'd play any negotiations. I like it, and I like the flashback cost, but I think more than anything, I would rather cut these and go up on duresses and tactics just to get that card selection and know what our opponent's doing. We do play a very overloaded deck when it comes to one decision or another. Honestly, if we can play Unstoppable Slasher because we know it's well protected in terms of, or maybe protect is not the word, it's a lot more safe to play it. It's not going to get exiled or removed unless they top deck something. Then we want to play Slasher because then that threatens a lethal hit off of Bloodletter, right? Or, in random things going on the deck, having Unstoppable Slasher come in, deal half their life total, where cards like Bandit's Talent become a lot more threatening, or like Deep Cavern Bat's a lot more annoying because it has their removal and then Slashers hitting them, taking half their life and stuff. It just gets really weird very quickly. The other thing I will say, honestly, it's a bit dicey playing 3 of these with the Unholy Annexes. You get a little bit nervous on being this low on demons, especially here. But obviously, Unholy Annex provides the demons themselves, so it's kind of that weird synergy with the 2 cards. But you can probably go up and maybe trim on the Arch Enemy's Charm. I do like playing it, but I do think you could maybe serve without it. Or when you're cutting cards here, maybe you cut 4 here and you go up 1 and 1. I like splitting these because they're good in multiple different spots, and this has cycling, so it's a bit different. But you can trim and trim, go there and up your Bloodletter count if that's what you want to do. But I do think your Unholy Annexes, a lot of times you want to be a little bit careful with overall anyway, just because you don't want to obviously die to your own Annex. But with all that said, I still enjoy Mono Black. I think this is probably a little too much hand disruption, to be quite honest. But this card can honestly be a really good piece against like the Vivi decks and whatnot, because this hits the Cauldron and exiles Vivis as well. So this is pretty good, and Ruthless Negotiation is awesome. But with all this hand disruption, your opponent can't sit back and do nothing. Or that's not the hand disruption. With all this hand disruption, your opponents basically can't sit back and do nothing the whole game. So it allows us to be a little bit more aggressive with these, get them all the way down, make Bandit's Talent a thing that they randomly have to answer, along with an Unholy Annex providing us a ton of value. Is this the strongest version of Mono Black I've ever played? No, I don't think so. I do think it's a decent version of Mono Black. And cost-wise, it looks pretty okay. You're rare. In terms of, like, craft guide, common, uncommons, you know, we have 8, 10, 11 rares, 2 mythics, then 2 more rares. So we're at, like, 13 rares, right? So 8, 11, 13. 13 rares, 2 mythics is what we played. For Arena or Standard in general, that's pretty cheap. Mono Red feels like they have more rares than us, and I'm pretty sure they do. So, they have more mythics, I know that. But, with all that said, I hope you all enjoyed. I had a great time playing Mono Black again. This is one of my favorite archetypes. At least on Arena, best of one. Best of 3 Mono Black tends to struggle a lot when we get to sideboarding, but in best of 1 ladder or just best of 1 public play, Mono Black is a pretty good option and is a pretty fun option. And the Unholy Annex continues to still be very, very good. So with all that said, I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll catch you next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.